even if it is some vague, non-sectarian higher power. Disney's animated classics are filled with pagan images and things strongly denounced by the scriptures, such as witches and demons, sorcerers and spells, genies and goblins, like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. The Disney cartoons present the damnable concept that there is good and bad magic. Disney often depicts witches and sorcerers as likable heroes. The 1940 animated movie Pinocchio depicted a man who brings a puppet to life by wishing upon a star. The puppet is subsequently visited by a blue fairy who advises, "Let your conscience be your guide." The Disney fairy also preaches a works gospel that the gift of life is attained by choosing right from wrong. The fairy is attractive and likable, but a false basora is cursed of Yah. I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Mashiach unto another basora, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the basora of Mashiach. But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other basora unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. As we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other basora unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed. Galatians 1, 6 through 9. The word warns that Satan appears as an angel of light in order to deceive people in 2 Corinthians. Very few entertainment productions continue to have as profound an impact on young children as Disney's animated features, and millions of children around the world know from Disney much of what they do about the practical application of right and wrong. Some years back, the Southern Baptist Convention called for a boycott of Disney, but that boycott was based on newer, more morally edgy Disney productions and ignored the false New Age gospel preached through Disney's earlier movies. Movies that are found in most Southern Baptist homes in the land. When Disney opened in 1954, Time magazine featured Walt Disney on its cover and called him the poet of the new American humanism. Even many of the old Western movies are indecent when weighed by scriptural standards. The women typically wear tight, revealing clothing. The likable heroes drink and gamble and are irreligious. Immoral bar girls are portrayed as innocent, good-hearted people, the salt of the earth, while Yah-fearing believers are depicted as weak hypocrites and fools. The Andy Griffith Show is one of the most wholesome shows that has ever been produced for television, at least the early black and white programs. It teaches some basic moral lessons and presents wholesome marriage relationships. But consider the worldview. One reader who responded to our survey wrote, "Not too long ago, I realized that even the so-called moral programming I watched as a child, such as Little House on the Prairie, Andy Griffith, etc., portrayed a good life without salvation. Never once did I ever hear the gospel, and it was assumed that everyone went to heaven." We must not forget that moralism is not the gospel of Yahushua HaMashiach, that people don't go to heaven because they are good. Even Otis, the town drunk, was depicted as a really nice guy who would clearly go to heaven if such a place existed. Andy certainly never quoted that the word says drunkards shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven. And we should make certain that our children do not become Andy Griffith, Old Yeller experts, that they spend more time hearing the word than immersed even in so-called innocent entertainment. They should know more about the scriptures and truly profitable things in life than they do about some shallow Hollywood program. Consider another innocent G-rated program, The Cosby Show. Unlike most other television series today, Cosby depicted an intact family with a man and a woman living together that were actually married. But the fashions and attitudes and philosophy are not wholesome from a scriptural perspective. A love for worldly music is one of the show's themes. One of the Cosby programs dealt with the subject of whether one of the teenage daughters should have premarital sex, and the advice was merely to wait until she was ready and in love. These programs have a powerful effect on young people because the actors are so likable and believable, and because they are so much more decent than the average television fare. They seem wholesome by comparison, and parents let down their guards. When it comes to the PG rating, even the secular reviewers deem parental guidance to be necessary with these particular programs and movies, which should be a loud warning to the people of Yah. Consider Monk, one of the seemingly less evil shows. This PG-rated program features the exploits of a psychologically damaged police detective. Though it is less offensive than most TV offerings, Monk is far from innocent. The women are dressed very provocatively, and the program is literally filled with exclamations of, "Oh my God," and other profanities. The philosophy is anti-scriptural and anti-Mashiach. It promotes the popular myths of humanistic psychology, operates in a culture largely devoid of thoughts about Yahusha and eternity. And when Elohim is mentioned, it is either to profane his name, to debunk the miraculous, to mock religion, or to promote the paganistic Gnostic view of Catholicism. This example is sadly about the best that Hollywood has to offer, and it is typical PG fare. The situation comedies are almost universally designed to brainwash the audience toward moral relativity, as observes in his report entitled The Dangers of Television. Television programs are designed with the purpose of reprogramming your mind by breaking down your defenses so you will accept a lie as truth. Many of the anti-believer and immoral precepts are bellowed forth in situation comedies. They get you to laugh, then they put forth their principles, and you have accepted their teachings without reservation. This is why much reprogramming is done through comedy. As for PG-13, even pagans recognize that great moral dangers lurk there, and that the line between PG-13 and R is effectively non-existent. USA Today published an article entitled "PG-13 Can Lull Folks with False Security." It is a warning about the filthiness of PG-13 movies by a humanistic secular newspaper. The article contains the following important statement. PG-13 was designed, I believe, to apply the friendly PG symbol to movies that have no business even being considered for viewing by most young teenagers and preteens. The age of assignment for the rating is deceptive, and it lulls parents into a false sense of security. This is an important warning. The article also states that there is often no difference between PG-13 and R-rated movies, and even when there is a difference, it is only minor. Both types of movies routinely contain nudity, immorality, gratuitous and graphic violence, and foul language. From the standpoint of a follower who wants to obey the call to holiness, there is no real difference. Immodesty is immodesty. Cursing is cursing. Blasphemy is blasphemy. Extramarital sex is extramarital sex. If one movie contains a little less of these things than another, that does not make either movie acceptable before Yahuwah. The ratings have become more lenient with the passing of years. Movies that would have been rated R a few years ago are routinely rated PG-13 today. Further, the category of NC-17, meaning no one under 17 may be admitted, has been added to replace the old filthy X rating. There is a satanic agenda to put increasingly more godless content into increasingly more widely distributed movies. Also noted in the USA Today article is the fact that many directors and producers actually want their movies to be rated PG-13 today, as opposed to an R rating or a PG rating. This is because young people are admitted to the PG-13 movies as opposed to the R or restricted movies, and they consider them more desirable and grown up than PG movies. PG-13 movies are raking in huge receipts at the box office. Of the top 21 films that have grossed more than $200 million, 13 are PG-13, while only 3 are PG, 2 are G, and 3 are R. If secular people can see the danger of PG-13 movies, why can't we? Are we Yah's people? We must understand that the Hollywood, New York entertainment business is not now and never has been the friend of Torah and righteousness. From their inception, motion pictures and television have pushed the boundaries of morality in society increasingly farther from the standard of the word. Yet more members of so-called scripture-believing churches watch unwholesome television and movies today than ever. And there is less plain preaching on this matter today than ever.